Hey everyone. Oh, yeah. Hey everyone, this is Peter Hall.
My name is Joshua Hall.
We're the Media Maniacs, thing one and thing two, because we'll review anything under the sun. Today we're going to be talking about um, She-Hulk episode 2, and then right after that, episode 3. Um, the second episode of She-Hulk I thought was actually kind of boring
I
because
actually thought it was better than the first episode, even though it didn't have a lot of action.
I thought it was boring because it didn't have any action and not as much comedy as the first one. My brother thought it was better because She-Hulk actually had like a struggle in this episode. He thinks because like after turning into the Hulk, like Titania goes on a rampage throughout the courtroom, and She-Hulk has to rescue the jury because Titania throws like a bench at the jury, and they almost get crushed, and She-Hulk jumps in, catches it, and stops them from getting crushed, and then she just lays out Titania. She's trying to do like a flying kick, which is pretty cool. That scene was cool. So, but then after that, like the or the people that She-Hulk was going up against in the courtroom motioned for a mistrial just because her saving the jury biases them in her favor. So they
There's also the issue that the court should damage the courtroom.
yeah, they ask for a mistrial because her saving the jury biases them in her favor. So they ask for mistrial, they get it. Then she gets fired just because like she's She-Hulk. She's like, and she literally tells her boss, "I saved all those people. Did you want me to let them die?" And her boss is like, "No, you did the right thing, but we can't have you be we can't have you as an employee now that you're She-Hulk. You're a liability." So she gets fired, and then they go through like this montage of her going out for job interviews and getting told no and stuff like that. And finally, she gets so desperate that she's thinking about becoming a mascot for a theme park just because she can't find work. And then, like, she finally gets offered a job at GLKNH, which the same people that she was going up against in court, which I think is actually kind of stupid because, like, she literally called them criminals uh, in the first
When you're
episode.
desperate, you'll do anything.
I know, but she literally called them criminals in the first episode, and said that they were getting away with all kinds of nonsense just because of their political connections and their money and stuff. And now she's working for them. And later on, it's revealed, like, right after, immediately in the next scene, it's revealed she only got hired just because they want her to be She-Hulk. So then she gets asked to represent Emil Blonsky for his petition for parole. And she has to represent him. And if she doesn't, she's out of a job. So she goes in and talks to Emil, and he's all like, "I've changed, blah blah blah. I'm not the same person I used to be." But he literally makes the case that like the government was responsible for what happened. The government and the Hulk. Like that's his claim that the government.
Which isn't entirely untrue.
He
But he
want
frames it he frames it so that she believes and the public believes that he was forced to turn into the abomination when it's what he actually wanted.
yeah. And then like when she calls Bruce, like she goes on this like she doesn't get him what I'm getting a word edgewise because she's so happy about having work and stuff. But she tells him that she has to represent Emil, and he's like, "It's okay if you do." That fight with him was so long ago that I was literally a different person, which is a meta joke to the fact that Edward Norton played the Hulk in that movie instead of Mark Ruffalo. Um, and then like he's on that same spaceship that caused him to get into that car crash in the first episode. So he's going to be out of the picture for who knows how long.
They're
And
probably setting up World War Hulk or Planet Hulk.
yeah, so and then like right after she agrees to take the case for Emil Blonsky, a video gets leaked of like his fight with Wong and that we saw in Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. And her boss is like, "Turn on the news, you have to watch this." And so she sees like Abomination fighting Wong, and then she's like, "Oh, this sucks." So, yeah, the second episode I thought was not as good as the first one.
The first one was stupid. The
It,
first one was all about Jen's imaginary struggles against the male patriarchy.
but there wasn't any action or comedy. So
most of the action comes from Jen, and in the first episode, Jen and Bruce fighting because Bruce doesn't want her to resume her life as a lawyer. He wants her to start a new.
I know, but I actually thought one was better, even though Jen was a bitch. Number 2 was just too slow. Okay, so
Number 2 was slow, but it was necessary, and I actually thought it was better than episode 1. Anyway, I think it's okay. She-Hulk is slowly starting to win me over.
we're gonna talk about episode 3 in another video.
Oh, you don't want to talk about them both? You combine the two? We got 16 minutes.
I guess we can. Fine, whatever. Okay, so now on to episode 3 of She-Hulk. Episode 3 of She-Hulk is they're actually starting to make things interesting. So she's
Hasn't completely won me over yet. But
she's representing
it's
Emil
intrigued me.
Blonsky's petition for parole, and like everyone is suspicious about whether or not he should be granted parole, considering that he busted out of prison to go fight in that underground fight.
That was a pretty cool twist, how it was Wong's doing the entire time.
Yeah, but like Andre the Black Giant, Andre the Black Nerd actually, like, I think covered this pretty well in his video of the She-Hulk episode 3. So yeah, Wong actually forced him to or so he says. Wong actually forced him to fight in that cage match because he needed a worthy opponent to become Sorcerer
Wong even
Supreme.
admitted to doing so.
Yeah. So he needed a worthy opponent to become Sorcerer Supreme, and then he offered him the chance to like come live at Kamar-Taj, but he refused and wanted to go back to prison. And he has like a fan club of like 7 women that
yeah, apparently he's converted to Mormonism.
It's not explicitly stated, but he has like this fan club of women, 7 women, all dressed up as flower girls.
Apparently,
they all have like white robes on, and they all
Emil
have like
Blonsky,
wreaths of flowers in their hair.
Apparently, Emil Blonsky has created his own hybrid religion of Mormonism, Jehovah's Witness, and Buddhism, because he practices Buddhism and other Eastern religious techniques to maintain his human form instead of like being stuck as the abomination. And
Yeah.
he also has like 7 wives, which is what Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses do.
Okay. So anyway, like
which is kind of funny.
Testimony that she has like all these witnesses for Emil's parole due to get him out of prison is funny. Like one guy just like breaks down into tears and says that Emil saved his marriage. And then another guy says the prison library isn't just a place to quietly kill somebody anymore. Talking about how like he's reformed a whole bunch of other prisoners because he leads daily meditation exercises. And there's actually this one part when like Emil transforms into Abomination just to show everyone that he has control over when and how he transforms.
And he still maintains his human voice.
Yeah, he transforms into the Abomination, but before he does, he takes off his Crocs just because he doesn't want to ruin them. And then like when he transforms, like the clothing that he was wearing, his prison orange jumpsuit is totally shredded. And then, like, when he turns back into his human form, he has to wear a blanket because he's completely naked now. That scene was kind of funny. Let's see. Oh, and then at the end of the episode...
My favorite part.
At the end of the episode, she gets mugged by a group of guys...
Attempted.
Who are supposed to be the wrecking crew from the comics. And she's like, what'd you do? Steal all that stuff from, like, an Asgardian construction worker? And then, like, they're trying to get her blood, but when she hulks out, they can't penetrate her skin, which is actually kind of stupid, because, like, one guy grabs her, and she spends, like, almost a minute, like, a whole 30 seconds, I think, screaming, going, ah, 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 before she realizes that she can hulk out and kick their asses.
That was actually kind of funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. about the B plot. There was this B plot with her annoying coworker from her earlier job as an assistant
That
DA,
was
Dennis.
stupid.
Yeah, her annoying coworker Dennis from the assistant DA is he was scammed by some shape-shifting elf. She turned into this one celebrity called
White elf.
yeah, she turned into this one celebrity called Megan the Stallion, and he actually thought that he was dating Megan the Stallion, and I never even heard of Megan the Stallion until watching She-Hulk. But he was convinced he was dating Megan the Stallion, and he gave this one elf who's a shapeshifter like almost $200,000. He gave her like some kind of Lamborghini or something, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. And so like he was taking her to court, and so like she transforms into a whole bunch of people to like try and stop the case from going through. She transforms into Dennis to try and get his lawyer to stop the case. She transforms into the lawyer, a guy named Pug for some reason, and goes around saying, I just love sexually assaulting women. It's my favorite thing to do. And he's like, I don't like doing that. That was kind of dumb. Also kind of funny. She transforms into the judge and then tries to dismiss the case. And her lawyer's like, transforming into a judge is illegal. Don't do that. And so like
Impersonating a judge.
yeah, impersonating a judge. And so like Jennifer Walters is convinced to help Dennis, and she as a character witness, and she testifies that he actually would believe that he was dating Megan the Stallion because he's that delusional about how great he is and stuff like that. That was kind of funny. But yeah. Anyway, my brother thinks that the person who was hired those guys to try and get
I'm not the only one.
Jennifer
There's
Walters'
articles
blood
about it all over the
is
internet.
the leader. What's his name?
Dr. Samuel Stearns.
Yeah, he thinks that it's Samuel Stearns from the Incredible Hulk movie from 2008. The guy who transformed, and his name is the leader or something. He was that big brained guy after the Hulk's blood dropped on his head. And it's a shame that they didn't do anything with him. It really is. But hopefully we'll see him again in She-Hulk. That'd be interesting.
They promised him a trilogy, but because the Incredible Hulk movie wasn't any more popular than like the 2003 Hulk movie, it didn't go anywhere.
Sucks. Alright, so that is our discussion of She-Hulk episodes 2 and 3. Talk to you later. Bye.